Benjamin,
Rohan.
it's the Euros. It's the Euros. Man, I've been so excited. I don't think I've watched this much football on consecutive days in a long time. Probably since 2018. 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, for Germany, the Euros might be over quickly if.
Actually, I thought Germany played pretty well. I think we spoke about this. It was better than expected, which is weird to say for such a normally good German team. But I thought they handled France pretty well. I'm not completely against them, but I think
Yeah,
this man might might do a job on the Germans, especially the way he did a job on Coca-Cola, shall we say?
yeah, exactly. What are you drinking today?
I am not drinking Coca-Cola. I kept this bottle here. I bought this bottle, Benjamin, for this show. No, I don't think they care about their share price if I drink it or not. But no, I'm sticking to agua.
Aqua. Fantastic. Speaking of the Euros, I think the Belgium game just kicked off, Belgium-Denmark,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Which I want to watch. I'm not sure about you, but this means we have to be even quicker than we usually are. Shall we
Choppa.
get to it right away?
Let's do it.
As always, some hip-hop beats in the background and me asking you what the heck we're actually talking about in this show.
Ben, we're talking about something really important.
Yeah.
People care about what we talk about. This affects lives. We're talking about SportsTech. We're talking about not just SportsTech, the top 5 news stories in the world of SportsTech from this week. That is some really important stuff.
Every
week. We are committed to this cause, and I want you to kick it off today. Let's go.
Just a quick warning, little disclaimer. We might go into a tiny summer break in a few weeks because that guy here and myself, we also have to take some time off.
Because I'm going to this land.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to visit our good friend Joao. I'm not sure if he's listening, but I'm gonna get you guys in touch. So you gotta meet him.
Joao, you are an inspiration in more ways than one. Yes, I would love to connect.
Exactly.
Hey, there is a different Joao who is saying hi to us. Hey, Joao Frigerio. Thanks, Joao, for joining us.
Oh wow, hi. Good to read you. Yeah. We've been in touch a couple times. He needs some time off too. Who doesn't?
We all do. Summer's too hot. Okay, Ben, let's go. We got a game to watch, Ben. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, let me start with this news here. I think it was an entertaining and interesting one.
Yeah.
It is about good old VAR line technology, one of the most discussed topic overall. And there's not too much to say about it, other than for the next season, at least the Premier League has decided that the line that they're using to identify whether it is offside or not gets thicker. Why do they do this? Because there is a certain, let's say, room for error. And interestingly, I found this old post here. I'm not sure if you have seen it, but there's this guy, Decap MCFC. He has done some calculation, and his result was that, there is a possible error of almost 20 centimeter with that line. And the Premier League said, okay, if we use a thicker line and rule rather in favor for the striker, there might be less discussions. What do you think?
That's a great point, Ben. I didn't know this part of the story because actually I was going to ask you, like, how thick is the line? Why is it X centimeters and not Y centimeters? But if somebody's actually done the research, that is fantastic. Thanks to this particular user, because the Netherlands, I think the Eredivisie had already rolled this out. They have been using a thicker line, but I think there's not just that, right? They're launching the thicker line, but they're also, like the Euros are doing right now, they're not going to show the drawing of the line. They're not going to show the decision making. I think they're just going to show the result. Like once the decision has been made, which to be honest, the Euros have been following, and I kind of prefer that. It's nice to hear the reference, which is super interesting, but there's just too much emotion. I'd like the decision be made and then see it. I don't know.
I would rather see it because I want to have my own opinion on it. But I would, of course, like to make them good decisions that are, when in question, are in favor for the striker. So I mean, something like this where you cannot really tell, then you should be like, okay, it's fine. Yeah. So yeah. So I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, no armpit offsides. I think that's the main point, and for that, I'm definitely all for it. It'll definitely require a little bit of recalibration, the offside rule in general, but for now, this is a good step forward. All right.
I agree. Next one.
Yeah. What is the next story? The next story, we go from football to boxing, right? So Triller, which is a social platform, basically TikTok's competition in the US, shall we say, which has been around for a while, but they've really taken sports seriously. But they've taken sports seriously from a social angle. Yeah, they've done a lot of content with Jake Paul. They had, I think it was Mike Tyson's fight with, I forget the other guy's name, I'm sorry, but who's also a pretty seasoned boxer. They've had a couple of fights, so they're focused on that space. They had Ice Cube's Big Three. So they've had a few sports properties that they've invested in. Now, what they're also doing is they're shifting from a pure pay-per-view format into a subscription format. So getting closer to the Netflix of sports kind of idea. How much is this going to cost? Well, they're pricing it at either $300 per year or $30 per month. But the most interesting one, which is, I don't think I've seen this before, they're offering limited subscriptions. So, and they haven't given how many. It might be a couple hundred, it might be 500, 10,000, no idea yet. But they're offering this only on a first come, first serve basis. So at some point, they're going to run out of subscriptions. What are you going to get with this access? Well, Triller doesn't have a huge lineup right now. If you go to their website, they have this big fight, which is the Triller Fight Club, which Snoop Dogg is promoting. They have Lopez versus Kambosos Jr. I'm not a big boxing guy. I don't know who these guys are. I don't know if this is a great fight or not. But that's the only event that they have coming up. But I'm sure they're planning on investing more. Let's see. Subscription for sports.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I see or I smell an opportunity for a live stream of the next big fight, Malhotra versus Pankrat in chess. Maybe we should bring that to them.
Yeah, I think the millions will pay some good money for that, no?
They would run out of subscription immediately.
Immediately.
The other thing, for whoever is a consumer of sport, right, like we are, the interesting thing now is, I mean, Triller is an app that is on your phone, just like TikTok, like you rightly said. So the question that I ask myself as a consumer is, do I want to pay for a subscription in, let's say, Twitter style and just watch it on my phone, and TikTok style, sorry, not Twitter style. So I don't know, it sounds a bit unusual. Maybe it's a great move. Definitely interesting to watch.
Yeah, to be honest, from my side, look, it's a bit of a grab. I like the innovation in the format. That I'm not so opposed to, moving closer to subscription. But Triller itself, I mean, the kind of sports that they're talking about is all mainly on the social angle. Even the Big Three, the basketball league that they just bought the rights from CBS last year. I mean, the Big Three came with a bunch of fanfare and they had a lot of social stuff around it, celebrities and all that, and kind of fizzled out. So they're really plugging, as they are, it's a social media platform, plugging the sports and social angle. That's not for me. I'm not going to watch a Logan Paul fight. I did actually, but I'm not going to take it seriously. I mean, it's the quality of what content is going to be on there. There must be an audience for it. I'm probably not.
But I give them some props because they're always trying something new that others have not done before. So therefore, I like him. But yeah, I agree. Somehow it didn't take off yet.
By the way, Benjamin, breaking news. Denmark have gone 1-0 up.
No way. Who scored?
In the second minute. Yusuf Poulsen scored in the second minute.
Belgium.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, let's go. What's next?
Cool. Just checking the chat. No one's talking to us. If you are listening to us for free,
they're all watching Denmark.
You can actually also like embed the chat into this stream, but it would be too embarrassing to see the 3-4 questions that we get per show. Whatever. On to the next one.
Yeah.
We are talking about my favorite topic, about NFTs, and about this platform here. I would say not as well known as all the popular NFT platforms yet. First of all, it's called Fantastec Swap. But you might already see that they have secured some very interesting rights in the past, especially in soccer. So they have Real Madrid, they have Borussia Dortmund, and they have Arsenal London. And they're also focusing on women's sports, which of course is pretty cool. But now a interesting, potentially big move has happened because they have partnered with Dapper Labs, the company that is behind NBA Top Shot, that is probably gonna push out the UFC, NFT, so many letters, the UFC NFT. Here we go. And the announcement now was that Dapper Labs helps Fantastec migrate all of the NFTs to the Dapper Labs platform, so to bring it onto the Flow blockchain, which makes it more compatible with, of course, NBA Top Shot and more easily accessible on the secondary market. So the big promise is it is better for the fan who wants to buy and trade those NFTs. And of course, the connection brand like Dapper Labs could also be interesting. So I like this move because there are interesting rights, which is of course interesting for Dapper Labs because they had no entry into soccer yet, which is super tricky with so rare outside out there especially. So yeah. I kind of like this move. The question that I have in my head is how many rights will they be able to score and how big can this potentially be? But it's a nice entry game.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Fantastec already had minted NFTs for their sports teams. So how did those go? Because I didn't hear too much about them. I think they were like okay-ish.
Yeah, I mean, I've tested them. We had a podcast with them. I got a few packs to see it. I mean, they look nice and everything, but somehow I had a feeling they didn't take off yet. So maybe this is exactly what they need, like being attached to this big name. And yeah, so it could make sense from both perspectives.
Yeah, I mean that was my big question because I remember it happened, but I didn't get too much buzz about it, which is why I guess they're redoing it. This is a relaunch, reminting exactly on this on the flow chain. So yeah, curious. It's also all super early, all super experimental in this phase of NFTs, which are overall going through a bit of a down cycle from the overall buzz around NFTs in sports. Trading has gone down a bit. It's not that the shine is wearing off. I think it's still a space to be bullish about. Which is
hype cycle, my friend.
Yeah. But it's, I mean, hype cycle is also getting shorter than that, which is interesting. But yeah, cool to see a little iteration. Curious to see what happens with this.
Yep. On to the next one.
On to the next one. Quickly, Joao asks what video streaming service we use. Joao, we use Restream. I think we tried StreamYard, but weren't too happy with it. Okay? This one has more features than that.
Yeah, super simple, straightforward. We like.
Exactly. Okay, next bit of news. EQ2 EQT. Give me out with seems right. Equity Ventures. EQT Ventures.
Too many letters, I told you.
Yeah. Invest 50 million into Lenus, which is an interesting platform. Which helps coaches. Yeah, okay. This article speaks a lot about fitness and everybody's getting obese, which is something that we know that is not as interesting. But Lenus Health itself is interesting. And here's a little bit about who they are. Their mission is to be real difference makers because the company enables fitness coaches to help scale their business. Right. So it's not for you as an end user to jump on their platform and get fit yourself. It's a platform for the coaches. Now, why is this important? And they help coaches transform their business, manage their customers, manage their accounting, manage operations a bit, and also communication with clients, classes, etc. So this is the main promise of Lenus. Yeah, you can take a look at it here. This is the platform, powering health and fitness, etc. I mean, transforming a coaching business. Why this is especially important, and when we've talked about this before in our fitness tech report toward the end of the year, and this is a growing trend, that this trend of coaches being drivers of growth, because the coaches have their own captive audience that follows the coaches and does fitness with them, that coaches can be the next gateway to larger fitness audiences, because the fitness audience are following the coach, and then you can bring them onto your platform. So empowering coaches to work with users directly might be is already a rising trend. the fitness world and might be a key growth driver even going forward, as opposed to just being a coach on Freeletics or a lot of apps where the coaches don't get as much revenue share. Here, the coaches are owning the customer directly or have a direct relationship and can take most of the revenue for themselves. So really good to see platforms that are working more and more with coaches.
Absolutely. So what does that mean for whoever is listening and who's interested in either booking a coach or being a coach and finding an audience? This makes things super easy, right? I mean, if you would like to work with a new coach, you can go on the platform and explore who they got. But even more importantly, if you are a fitness instructor, you can check out one of those apps. And like Ron said, there are a bunch of them. Lenus seems to be the leading one in Europe because I think they're Copenhagen-based. Lots of cool companies from Copenhagen, by the way. Shout out to Triller, another fantastic company for youth footballers, and a bunch of others. So really nice to see them there. But yeah, good for fitness instructors. And you always hear this comparison, Amazon versus Shopify. So let's say the big aggregators are more like Amazon, and Shopify is empowering the small little shops to do their business. And this is exactly what Lenus is basically doing, helping the little man and the little woman as well.
Yep. I really like this trend. I think it'll only get bigger.
Cool. Then let's move on to our top topic of the week. We are talking about ESPN and money. Yes, we have talked about this a couple of times on the show already, from a different perspective, that lots of the betting companies are actually thinking about, or the first ones are thinking about, DraftKings to be precise, to run their own content platform to get closer to the actual content and not just sending some integration there. And now the interesting movement is that the same is happening the other way around, with ESPN as the main broadcasters, obviously, allegedly is thinking about their own sportsbook, which is obviously a big move. And the big discussion is, does that make sense for them? Because it is complex, it is expensive. So the big decision that has to be made, is that something they want to build on their own, they want to make it, or if they want to acquire someone or partner with someone. So classic decision that they're into. Pros and cons on both sides. Obviously, if you're able to build it up quickly and successfully, you have lots of power, you have lots of influence. On the other hand, you might also be well off just partnering with all those companies out there, and there are tons of them that obviously would go with ESPN. There's another example in a slightly different context that I want to bring up in a few minutes, but first want to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, I like this one, and really interesting point about build versus buy, or how much you keep in, you do yourself or you partner with, and those kind of things. I mean, this article actually does a really good job of making different. Did you know ESPN had mobile phones? I didn't even know that was a thing. And there were another couple of examples, right?
Yeah, they also gave the example somewhere here. I don't know where it was. They were also running here's mobile phones, and then themed restaurants and magazines that didn't really take off, which is obviously not so close to what they actually do. So maybe this is a better fit. Maybe that's where you wanted to go.
Yeah, exactly. I think the point being that you take big jumps outside of your business and pivots and those kind of things are important. But this seems natural. I really like the idea of ESPN owning sportsbook. Also, this is not the first example of a big, let's say, media company owning a sportsbook. Fox News, famously, they got into a acquisition, a merger rather, with the Stars Group, which eventually got rolled up into Flutter, which is something that we've talked about in the past, which is a betting behemoth. We've got all sorts of different, let's say, content meets sportsbook ways. You talk about DraftKings as well. So there's a lot happening in that space. I think ESPN is kind of laying a marker down that they have to get into it. It's just that whether it justifies the cost of doing it themselves, that's the one that's to be seen. But otherwise, of course, ESPN getting into betting is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and there seems to be potentially beginning of a trend that media companies or broadcasters are gonna diversify, because there was this other news that we found, which I also found interesting, and you can already see it. Sports Illustrated launched their own ticket platform. If I got it right, this is mainly also specifically targeting the secondary market, which is super interesting. But just adding another digital platform and therefore also asset, which lets them, that's I think at least the idea, monetize their existing audience, might be a good move. And again, it's close to their core business, right? So yeah, just a quick thought on that one.
Yeah, I don't know how close this is to their core business. I think this is a bit more of a reach. I mean, SI has been, I remember reading an article a few months ago about the fading brand that is SI. They had anchored themselves so close to that the swimsuit edition, and then they had the body edition. They were trying to create these special properties, and the power of those editions also doesn't have the same pull and reach as it used to. So this feels a bit more of a reach. I mean, best of luck to them. There's a huge opportunity with secondary markets on events. No doubt there's space for it. Let's see if this one is successful. But going back to the ESPN one, just one comment I wanted to make additionally was, I really like how the article also, like, why do we think ESPN is taking the space so seriously, is because they were hiring heavily in the space and they're recruiting a lot of people. And what immediately struck me was, I remember watching an interview of Elon Musk recently where he talks about, somebody asked him, do you think, when is Apple going to launch cars or electric vehicles? And he was like, well, if you hire 1,000 engineers who are for a purpose, then it means it's going to happen pretty soon. So Apple getting into electronic vehicles, there hasn't been talk about it, but Apple is hiring engineers for that purpose. So that's a pretty good indicator that somebody's doing something. So even though they haven't made an official announcement from ESPN, if they're hiring people from the betting industry, then yeah, this is going to happen pretty soon for sure.
We are hiring no one, but still working on it all the time.
We are hiring people to find us beers and get us in front of TVs for euros. That's what we're doing.
Yes, that is exactly the plan. Very soon. Anything to add at the end of this wonderful, wonderful show, my friend?
No, I think that was a good, quick one. Whoever joined us, I hope you enjoyed it. Denmark is still 1-0, I believe.
I was checking as well, yeah.
Yeah, my trusty One Football app. Shout out to those guys. They do a fantastic job. But that's it. I think that's our episode. Hello SportsTech. Please go check it out. Nifty Sports. Please go check it out. Latest video out. I think you released the video yesterday, right? I haven't seen it myself.
Yes. I mean, actually, good one. If you ever wondered what the heck actually is SportsTech, this video might be for you, because we thought it made make sense to finally talk about, let's say, the definition of SportsTech.
Nice one. I'm looking forward to checking that out as well. All right.
Let's get the second half of the first half of the game. See you next week, guys.
Yeah.
Agua.